Welcome to the Madroit Podcast. We bring you bite-sized marketing and sales insights to help you level up, no matter the size of your business. Tune in and answer the big question, what does marketing actually do?
Hey guys, welcome back. And today we're talking about something that's been a pretty big, unlock for us and for our clients. And that is content repurposing. And to partner with that, maybe more importantly, content orchestration. So it's not just about making more content, really about creating a system that makes your content go further. And before anybody starts asking, well, what are you talking about? Don't worry, we will elaborate. So let's start here. Most businesses think that content is a one and done deal. For example, write a blog post, hit publish, move on, you're done with it, never see it again. However, in reality, one piece of content can easily become 10, 20, even 30 different assets if you plan it that way. We're going to go through a little bit of a clarification exercise here. So repurposing is genuinely turning one idea into many different formats. When we talk about orchestration, we're talking about how you're strategically mapping where, when, how all that content lives and moves, right? So essentially, it's how you build a content ecosystem, not just a bunch of isolated content islands, right? So when we're talking about this, why does it matter?
It matters for so many reasons, but you just make more out of the assets that you have. You want your assets to go further, your investments to go further, right? Like how can you get the most out of something? ROI, most use, save the most time, bring in the most clients, leads, customers, et cetera, right? Why it matters more than ever. It's easy to create content, right? At this point, one-offs, but using it, you can save so much time. You have message consistency. So your key points, your main call to actions, your main story points, selling points, you can use those kind of like a matrix graph and pick and choose from each category and make new, unique content that has a different purpose for each platform that it's on. And you can reach different types of learners or potential customers or clients, right? People that are fully reading every word of your blog post or email, or people that are skimming or watching full videos or quick clips. And depending on where they're at in their buying journey with you, you might get different engagement. They might see the same overall piece of content in 7 different formats and take it in differently each time, depending on where they're at and how it's presented to them. So Jordan, how do we actually get into content repurposing?
Yeah, so I think taking from what you said there, starting with what we would call a core asset, a podcast episode like this one, a long form blog, webinar, workshop, something like that, even like a how-to video for our DIY fans out there. So then to take that one piece of content that you just created and repurposing it into a blog post with maybe some subheadings, for example, or 3 to 5 short clips. You can use things like quote graphics, carousel posts, even like LinkedIn articles are fantastic to utilize as well. But really, you can create a number of short videos, carousel posts, LinkedIn articles, anything like that can easily transform into that repurposed content. Now, all of a sudden, you've gone from one core asset to now one core asset, but now you have 5, 10, 20 sub pieces that are going to be able to go along with it. So that 145-minute podcast that you created now just became a month's worth of content for you to utilize. As you look to roll all of that out, it's best to have a plan, right?
Always. So this is where the orchestration comes in, right? Like your conductor symphony, which would never be me. My ears do not understand music that way, but I love the planning part of it. And to do it, a couple of things, like having a content calendar, huge. What are your core asset? What is the core asset calendar? Like the key topics, right? And then how do you plan on using that throughout the year over a course of a quarter, a month? You can stagger that content. So planning that core asset and then social media posts 1 through 5, email blast 1 through 3. One email you included as the main piece of the email, and the next 2 or 3 emails from now include it as like a footnote of, hey, did you miss this article that we did or this video that we did? Okay. Content by theme for a more structured campaign style. Let's see. You can use AI tools for this, right?
Yes.
Put in the initial core asset and then have dedicated prompts for this, but create 10 social media posts, 5 email newsletters in our tone of voice, feed it all the information. We've talked about that in the past. So you can really get the most out of it in your consistent brand voice. And using tools like a project management tool, a spreadsheet for some, you can do a lot of this in a Google Sheet, Excel document. We use ClickUp, plenty of platforms out there to plan all of this out. Think of your content like a kick-ass band. Each piece has its part, but together it creates something more powerful.
I was so waiting for you to just bring it right back to the orchestra again.
I was thinking Beatles, maybe. Yeah.
There you go. So with that and the orchestration piece, we have some Madroit tested workflows that we can share with you. So here's a workflow we use with some of our clients that works very well. So record a 30-minute podcast, right? Then you can look to transcribe it. So from there, you can take that transcript into a long form blog. Now, using something like AI for this is certainly on the cards. You go ahead. However, make sure that you are reviewing it. Not completely 1000% bulletproof. So just make sure, again, you are still the manager, you are still the conductor. So then from that long form blog, you can take short video clips and use those as reels from that podcast that you did. From there, you can turn 3 quotes into graphics and even create emails. It can be 1, can be 4 with key takeaways, right? But what we're stressing here is now from one 30-minute podcast, you just got anywhere from 10 to 20 different pieces of content. And the beauty of that, if you're thinking, I don't have the time to sit here, create all of that, and then be the one that's responsible for posting that over the next 30 days, what have you, you can schedule that content to be posted, right? So there are multiple platforms that you can utilize to create that schedule, to sit down in one sitting. Maybe it's 2 hours, maybe it's 4 hours, what have you, but you can then publish all of your content for the month in that one sitting across all of your platforms to make people think, man, this business is just on it. Like they are so engaging on social, but really planning ahead. And when you do plan ahead, typically you win. Now, we made that sound very easy. We're very fortunate that we have a great team with us, but there are some common mistakes that can come along with this. So can you highlight some of those?
Yeah, just touching on though, like the great team is huge because I would not do social media as someone who has social media for our business, right? Like our agency, obviously we have social media and we do that for clients. I would not do this podcast if I had to manage every single piece of content going out after, right? Own all of that is so time consuming and it needs to be consistent. So the system is great. Like for us, we show up, talk. We've already put in the legwork of here's the brand voice, here's the standards and topics we want to hit, etc. So we plan out the content, execute on the content, and then our team is on it, right? So we are very fortunate. Everyone else can be just as fortunate if they use us too. Yeah, some common mistakes if you're doing this on your own or having someone else help you with it. Let's talk about what not to do. Creating one-off piece of content, just putting it out there once and assuming everyone will see it. That is not the case. If you post something on social media and you have 1,000 followers, you might get anywhere from 30 to 300 people to see that one post. So don't expect everyone to be reading every word you put in front of them. Even if they have it in their feed, they might not read it. That day they're busy, wasn't engaging enough. You present the same piece of content in a different way with a different graphic or emoji to start. And now all of a sudden, like that person read every word. So don't just post it and think everyone read it, or use it once and think you're done with that message. You don't need to share it again because you do. Posting the same exact thing on each platform. Each platform has its own voice, like the standard LinkedIn versus Facebook, right? One is more professional, one is more social. So you have to post knowing who's reading the content. Failing to adjust tone, same idea there. And not reviewing after some time to see what did well. reposting can work. I wouldn't repost everything once a month or once a week, just on repeat. That doesn't work. But over the course of a few months, what worked, maybe repost it or tweak it a little bit and share it again if it's still relevant. Repurposing isn't recycling, it's refining and reframing to maximize your reach and potential of the asset.
Yes. Yes to all of it. And I think when we're talking about repurposing and like that orchestration piece, so again, don't let content be a treadmill. Let it be more of a flywheel. So create once, spin it out strategically, make sure that you are hitting your core asset and then looking to repurpose that content and be very strategic with how you roll that out. So in the end, don't let your content be a treadmill. We want it to be more like a flywheel, right, Win?
Yeah, absolutely. Your marketing is a core asset. You can repurpose it. You can maximize your investment, maximize the reach, the potential, and what it brings into you strategically.
Amen.
And we want you to do that.
That's all for this episode of the Madroit Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe. If you have any questions that you want us to talk about on the pod or want to get in touch with us, please visit madroitmarketing.com/podcast. Thanks for listening.